Scene script. Greetings, curious minds. What comes to your mind when you think of Africa? Often, the answers to this question are shaped by common misconceptions, casting a continent of incredible diversity and vibrancy into a single stereotypical mold. Today, we're on a mission to challenge and dispel 5 of these misunderstandings, aiming to reshape perceptions and celebrate the richness of life on this extraordinary continent. We'll delve into the diverse tapestry of Africa, challenging the idea that it's a single homogenous entity. We'll explore the dynamic nature of African economies, debunking the notion of Africa as a continent solely defined by poverty. We'll highlight the modernity and technological advancements prevalent in various regions. We'll dispel the idea that wildlife casually roams city streets. And finally, we'll celebrate the diverse lifestyles across the continent, challenging the idea of a singular, monotonous African lifestyle. Stay tuned as we reveal the first misconception about Africa. Misconception number 1: Africa is a single, homogeneous entity. This statement couldn't be further from the truth. Africa is a continent, not a country, and this distinction is vital. The continent is vast, spanning over 30 million square kilometers and is home to 54 diverse nations. Each one of these nations is unique with its own rich tapestry of languages, traditions, and landscapes. When we dive into the linguistic diversity of Africa, it's nothing short of mind-boggling. The continent is a linguistic treasure trove, boasting over 2,000 distinct languages, from the click consonants of the Khoisan languages in southern Africa to the rich tonal languages of West Africa. The linguistic variety is vast and varied. But Africa's diversity isn't limited to languages. It's a melting pot of traditions and cultures. Each region, each nation, each community has its own customs and practices that have been passed down through generations. From the vibrant Maasai ceremonies in East Africa to the beautifully intricate beadwork of the Zulu in South Africa and the ancient rock art of the Sahara Desert, the cultural diversity is as rich as it is varied. And then there's the matter of landscapes. Africa's terrain is as diverse as its cultures. From the snow-capped peaks of Mount Kilimanjaro to the sun-soaked beaches of Seychelles, the expansive Sahara Desert to the lush wetlands of the Okavango Delta, Africa is an awe-inspiring blend of landscapes. Each region has its own unique geographical identity, painting a picture of a continent that is anything but homogeneous. So when we talk about Africa, it's essential to remember that it's not a singular entity, but rather a vibrant mosaic of cultures, languages, traditions, and landscapes. Each piece of this mosaic contributes to the larger picture, a picture that is as diverse as it is beautiful. It's a continent that is rich in diversity, a continent that is constantly evolving while staying rooted in its vibrant past. As we can see, Africa is not one but a mosaic of cultures and terrains. A misconception number 2. Africa is all about poverty and underdevelopment. This stereotype paints a picture of a continent mired in perpetual economic struggle. But it's time to challenge this perception and shine a light on the dynamic and rapidly growing aspects of African economies. Let's start with a fact. Africa is home to some of the fastest growing economies in the world. Countries such as Ethiopia, Ghana, and Côte d'Ivoire have consistently ranked high in terms of GDP growth rates. This economic growth is fueled by a myriad of factors, from natural resources and agriculture to technology and entrepreneurship. The narrative of Africa as a continent of poverty and underdevelopment overlooks the extraordinary economic resilience and potential that exist here. For instance, the African continent is rich in natural resources, including oil, gas, minerals, and vast agricultural land. These resources have played a significant role in boosting the economies of many African countries. Furthermore, Africa is experiencing a digital revolution. The tech sector is booming, with homegrown innovations and startups sprouting up across the continent. From mobile banking solutions like M-Pesa in Kenya to e-commerce platforms such as Jumia operating in 14 African countries, technology is driving economic growth and transforming lives. Entrepreneurship is another area where Africa is making great strides. A growing number of Africans are starting their own businesses, contributing to job creation and economic growth. These entrepreneurs are not only creating wealth for themselves and their communities, but they are also solving local problems and meeting the needs of their societies in innovative ways. Moreover, Africa is becoming an increasingly attractive destination for foreign direct investment. Investors are drawn to the continent's large and youthful population, emerging middle class and ongoing infrastructure development. So, while it's true that many African countries face significant economic challenges, it's equally true that they are making remarkable progress. The narrative of Africa as a continent solely defined by poverty and underdevelopment is not only misleading, but also dismissive of the economic dynamism, resilience, and potential that exist here. It's clear that Africa's economic narrative is far more complex and promising than many believe. Misconception number 3, Africans live in primitive conditions. Now, this is an idea that could not be further from the truth. This misconception is likely formed from images of rural Africa that are often the focus of media portrayal. However, it's important to remember that rural does not equate to primitive. Let's take a closer look. Africa, like any other continent, is a blend of rural and urban landscapes, each with its own unique charm and challenges. But today we'll focus on the urban side of things. African cities are not only vibrant and bustling, they're also home to some astonishing modern infrastructure. From the towering skyscrapers of Johannesburg to the rapid transit system of Addis Ababa, from the expansive shopping malls in Nairobi to the state-of-the-art hospitals in Tunis, Africa, has much to show in terms of modernity and development. But let's not stop there. Technological advancements are not a stranger to this continent. Africa is leapfrogging into the digital age, bypassing many traditional stages of technological progression. Mobile technology, for example, has seen an incredible rise across the continent. In fact, sub-Saharan Africa is now one of the fastest-growing mobile markets in the world. E-commerce is booming, with homegrown platforms like Jumia and Takealot giving international giants a run for their money. Tech hubs are sprouting across the continent, fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. In cities like Lagos and Kigali, young tech entrepreneurs are creating solutions for African challenges and, in the process, attracting global attention and investment. In the realm of renewable energy, Africa is leading the charge. Countries like Morocco, with its massive Noor solar power complex, and Kenya, with its Lake Turkana wind power project, are harnessing the power of nature to fuel their societies in a sustainable manner. So let's put to rest the notion that Africans live in primitive conditions. It's a simplistic view that fails to acknowledge the complexity and dynamism of the continent. Africa is a place of innovation, resilience, and immense potential. Indeed, many parts of Africa are as modern and technologically advanced as anywhere else in the world. Misconception number 4, wildlife roams freely in African cities. Now, wouldn't it be quite something to spot a lion on your morning commute? While it's true that Africa boasts a stunning array of wildlife, it's not exactly the case that elephants are ambling around urban areas or that cheetahs are sprinting after city buses. The reality is that, just like anywhere else in the world, there's a clear distinction between urban areas and wildlife habitats. African cities are bustling hubs of human activity filled with cars, skyscrapers, and all the trappings of modern life. They're not exactly prime real estate for a herd of wildebeest or a pride of lions, but that's not to say Africa's wildlife isn't important, far from it. African countries are global leaders in wildlife conservation, with numerous national parks, reserves, and sanctuaries dedicated to preserving the continent's unique biodiversity. These protected areas allow wildlife to thrive away from the hustle and bustle of city life. Furthermore, the relationship between urban life and nature in Africa is a harmonious one. Urban planning often incorporates green spaces, and city dwellers value and respect the natural world, but the idea of a giraffe popping its head over your garden fence? That's probably best left to the world of cartoons. While Africa's wildlife is spectacular, it's not quite the urban jungle some imagine. And finally, misconception number 5. Africans have a singular, monotonous lifestyle. Now, this couldn't be further from the truth. Africa, with its 54 countries and over 2,000 languages, is a continent teeming with diversity. And this extends to lifestyles as well. In the bustling metropolises, you'll find a fast-paced, dynamic lifestyle. Here, people are engaged in various professions, from tech startups to fashion design, from banking to the arts. You'll find coffee shops buzzing with creative energy, markets filled with vibrant colors and tantalizing aromas, and nightlife that rivals that of any global city. Contrast this with the tranquil serenity of rural communities where life moves at a different rhythm. Here, traditions are held close and community bonds are strong. The day might start with the crowing of a rooster, followed by farming, fishing, or herding, depending on the region. Evenings are often spent telling stories around a fire under a blanket of stars. But whether urban or rural, what unites these lifestyles is a sense of community, resilience, and an embrace of the joy of life. Each day is unique, filled with its own challenges and triumphs, its own stories and songs, so the notion that Africans have a singular, monotonous lifestyle is a vast oversimplification of a continent bursting with diversity and dynamism. From bustling cities to peaceful rural areas, Africa is home to a myriad of lifestyles.